Okay, let me take a deep breath because this one's going to be really, really cool. Okay, in the past, what I've done is I've downloaded exemplar material from the exam board. And as you can see from this, it's usually scanned documents. Now, the problem with this is if I give this to students or if I read it myself, it could be that the handwriting is a little bit messy. What do I actually do with this document, etc., etc. So essentially in this video, what I want to do is go through how I got Claude Code to convert this handwritten material here into text here that I downloaded from the exam board. And based on 4 years worth of exemplar material, I got Claude Code to create student guides for writing and framework, model answers that will go by different topics, question type, full answers and partial answers, and a variety of other things, as well as an analysis of common errors found within each of these, as well as the patterns that examiners showcase in each one of these exemplar packs. Needless to say, this is a huge amount of my time that has just been saved with this. I didn't use a special prompt at all. This is all natural language. So how I did this is quite simple. So in the first step, all I did is I went to the exam board and the subject that I teach. I then went into the teaching and learning materials and then clicked on this exemplar materials. And as you can see, what it's got are years and years worth of different component material. As I just wanted to focus in on the component 4, I downloaded all of the zip files, which as you can see are all of these here. So in the past, before AI, what I used to do is go into each one of these PDFs and basically read through what the examiner have mentioned, possibly going through different questions and assessing how the exam board would mark certain things. As you can see from this page, this is a scanned document of a student writing in their answer, and the examiner have underlined or made it very clear about what they're going to mark. So in the past, what I've done is I've taken out the written questions, namely the ones that are worth 8 marks, or the essay marks. And essentially what I wanted to see is, could the AI read the student handwriting, the scanned document of a student handwriting, and be able to convert this handwriting into text. So let me just move over this for 1 second so that you can see this on 2 different screens. So this is the essay from the exam board and translate it into text. So I've been through all of this and it looks extremely accurate. So this is the actual essay here, and this is the essay over here to my left. You can see that they've underlined certain things, and then again, it's just gone through each one of these and basically just figured out how the examiner was going to mark this. So within the first comment about this, it's absolutely insane that we are living in a world where an AI can very, very quickly just read through all this stuff and just convert it into text. So one of the things that I'm going to do with this is I'm going to use this to analyze different years and how the examiners have marked essays, for example. So one thing I was really surprised about was on this question, as you can see, it's all handwritten by the student and they've underlined certain words. Now the examiner has put in this comment of no clear information. Now I just assumed that the AI was going to not really have this or not really understand what this was. But as you can see from here, this question 4F, it's given me the student explanation of what this is. And then it's given me what the examiner note. So what's really crazy about this is that the AI understood on this page what was the student answer and essentially what was the comments made by the examiner. It's just absolutely insane about what this has actually done. So just to give you another example of this, this is for the same question. And as you can see that this is a student's writing here, which is then over here. And as you can see about the annotations that it's made, that these are all accurate based around this. Now again, I really want to stress that I did not tell the AI that it should do this, mainly because I didn't want to overwhelm it, and that was a really stupid thing on my part. But yeah, it was able to take out not only the student handwriting, but also all this information regarding the examiner's annotations. I'm really shocked by this, and I think what's really great about just the fact that it could take a exemplar material and then move it into text is absolutely amazing. But the fact that it has all this detail about the comments, the annotations, but also what the student wrote is a lot of stuff that I can use in my teaching. So what I did is I went through each of these year groups. I have already checked this, and all 4 of these years are accurate. So now this introduces a whole nother layer, because as I'm working now with an AI that is based around text, I can now feed it all this information and get it to analyze stuff. So I went a little bit further with this, and I asked the AI if it can then analyze these documents, and it's given me this, a common error catalog. So it looks like about any sort of like confusion regarding student answers. And I guess what I could do with this is give these to my students, outlining where other students have gone wrong. It's given me a pattern analysis. And again, I didn't ask for any of this stuff. It just automatically did it. So within this, it's broken down this. And I'm going to find this quite helpful because my students are constantly coming back and asking me exactly what AO3 or AO4 is. And as you can see here, it's given me this breakdown of this. Now, I also just want to mention that it's given me the breakdowns for this as well, for how many marks it is. It's given me a pattern here. So it's given me the actual... No, wait. No, it didn't do this, did it? Okay, let's have a look at this. So let me just go into, actually, let me go into this 2019 one. Okay, so 2019 from the exemplar PDF here, and this is going to be question 6. I just want to see if it actually did this. So what I'm quite interested in is this. Obviously, this has been marked up by the examiner. You can see over here where it says E and ED and such. And I think what it may have done is it may have gone through this answer by a student, and then it put into brackets AO3 and AO4. That's really, really interesting. And then again, it analyzes it here. And then it's mixed these up. So this is the 2019 one, and this is the 2023. So it has taken all 4 of these and basically just mixed it up to analyze this. It's very interesting. So this is an astonishment. So this has been 4 years of this pattern. So one of the things that I was looking for was, is there a pattern within how the exam board are going to be marking these essays? Is anything that, as a teacher, that I should be looking at and really diving into? So subheadings, definitions, organization, referencing, what constantly loses marks, all this stuff is such a rich amount of information. So yeah, that's a lot of information I can use now to analyze this. In the model answer bank, in this index, it's now giving me a breakdown of each of these topics for these exams, for synthesis or sampling. And then yes, it's giving me this information here as far as which question it was, how much it was worth, and then this link. Oh, look at this. This is nuts. That's insane. That's an insane amount of information. That is great. So yeah, it's just broken this down topic by topic. Now that's also quite interesting. So it's now broken this up by mark band, so I can see what the answers for what the full marks got. So instead of me having to go through each one of these markdown files, what I could do is just go into this index here and then just have a look at what made these full marks. So it's organized this in a way that I could, and then, yeah, so partial examples. Okay, so this is going to be like full marks, yep, and this is going to be the partial one, got it. So I can use this as an example for my students to go back into and talk to them a little bit about why these didn't get full marks. Even more interesting, so it's broken this down by question type as well. This is just insane. So I got short answers, extended response ones, essays, practical, and then again, it's giving me these links, and these links, it says unable to find, but I can just go into my Finder and find these. All right, so the last one was these student guides. So this is something that I was going to work on myself. But as the AI has done this, I'll just have a look at it and just see what it is. So for the component for this writing guide, that's interesting. It's giving me the strategy, how much time, although an AI doesn't really know what time is, and this question type, interesting. So it said that this essay in this much time. Now this is really, really good. So in these examples, it's giving you this question, it gives you a weak answer, and then gives you this really strong answer, and puts into this identifying it, to explain it, and to evaluate, which is based around this. So this is quite useful because what I could obviously do with this is just give this to my students as like a checklist or a revision task that they can do. And as this is a markdown file, I could probably give this to my students too, then drag and drop into an AI, maybe to make an interactive resource for them. Yeah, so again, this step-by-step guide, I'm working on my students with this each year about how to manage this last question. So it's done this automatically. That's quite useful. So as you can see in Obsidian, it's also given me this. So I can then copy this to my clipboard and then put this into perhaps OneNote. And then, yeah, it's broken this down to AO3, AO4. Ah, look at this. Sentence starters. Yes, that's great. For AO4, it's just insane that it's done this without me having to prompt it. So all of this stuff here is what I'm working on with my students. And then again, have a look at this. So this full marks of this essay question, it's got in there, this AO3, AO4. And then again, this point about noticing the technical term goes to what it does, evaluation, another point evaluation. That's pretty good. Okay, so now we're looking at a checklist for terms. That is just crazy. So what I could do with this is I can give this to my students, perhaps as like a an assignment that they'll be able to learn about terms and what they mean and definitions, and then get the AI to quiz them on this. A lot of information to take in, but what I would probably recommend is that you maybe take one of these sections here, copy that into an AI, and then just go a little bit further into it, or use this as a topic for one of your revision lessons. So this is how I did this. What you want to do is you want to navigate to the folder that you want to open up and use Claude Code with. In this instance, I'm going to have a folder called Exemplar Work. I'm going to right click and choose New Terminal Folder. That will then open up this, and all you're going to do is type in Claude. So now that you've got Claude Code to reference this individual folder called Exemplar Work, because I've already gone through each of these, you can use a very simple prompt of, in this prompt what you can say is I'm looking for an analysis for common errors, examiner patterns, I'm looking for an index of model answers, I want you to create a student guide that has a writing examples and exemplar material for essay writing or whatever it is. Now I'm not going to do this because I've already got Claude Code to go through this and obviously create this. One thing I do want to mention about my use of Claude Code here, as well as Obsidian here, is I find that the front end of Claude Code can be a little bit unfamiliar for me. So let me just give you an example of this. In my Finder window, well, let me go into my Exemplar Work and I'll go into one of these packs. Now these packs already have a markdown file, which is here. And as you can see from this, doesn't really make an easy viewing for me at least. If you now look at Obsidian, and this is going to be your front end to this. So let me just go into my 2019 onto the Exemplar. So as you can see here, what it's done is that it's given me links. It's tagged things up here. It's just an easier way for me to look at this. Whereas on this, it's got the same information, but it just looks a little bit unfamiliar. Notice, for example, that on this partial answer here, it's giving me this indent. Whereas here, yeah, it just doesn't look familiar at all. So just to recap, some thoughts that I've got about using this. I can't stress more than enough how much it would take me to go through these PDF files and extract out information. This would take weeks and weeks. Whereas with this, I didn't time myself doing this, but I think it was no more than about 3 to 5 minutes. And I had the packs for each one of these years, as well as these documents that Claude Code created.